episode 11 of Horsemen Academy. You've got your host, LP. I've got a special guest, but before I pivot to my special guest here in one moment, this brother is also a friend of the family, which was kind of weird when we found this out maybe like 3 months ago, that we've known each other in passing. And it's often odd when you're in spaces and then you're like, yo, do you know this person? Do you know that person? Where are you from? And the next thing you know, when you hear a town named Opelousas, and then also University of Lafayette, well, at the time it was called Southern Louisiana. Let me introduce y'all to my brother, Coach Austin. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah, now,
like I'm already back home.
Let's talk about how random it was. Was it about 3 months ago? Maybe 4 months ago?
About 3 or 4 months ago, yeah.
You came in the studio,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know how I mentioned either my brother, shout out to Coach Rollins, principal now at, I'm a lie. I don't know his high school. I'm going to lie. But also fraternity brother of ours.
Yeah, man.
What made us bring up that conversation, how we even knew each other?
I remember I was sitting in the corner and something came up. I think Ebony said something.
Yeah. Okay.
So she brought New Orleans. I brought up Opelousas. You chimed up around the TV like, hey, Opelousas, you never randomly hear Opelousas.
Ever.
At all. And man, we just kind of went back into it. And, Rollins came up. I'm like, wait, that's not, man.
Yeah, so that's my oldest brother. Everyone who watches Poor, they know we're a family of 4 boys, all the same size.
Yeah.
We all did some type of athletics, and then a few of us, we journeyed on through the land of Alpha. So welcome to the podcast, brother. I want you to give a formal introduction because this is going to be a in the weeds conversation for some people. Okay. I think they'll get a lot of value out of it, but let me put the camera right on you. Let's get a formal introduction, brother.
All right, man. Formal introduction. Coach John Austin here, man. Again, Louisiana, born and bred, Opelousas, Lawtell, all of it. That's just my home, man. I love it. Love being from that area of the country, man. I've been in business now for myself about 17 and a half years. Started out in Louisiana, moved out to Houston 2001. And it was funny because a lot of the frat that was coming to from Louisiana here stayed in West Chase. We all was in the same apartment.
Wow.
Every 6 months, somebody moved in, somebody moved out, whatever. So we kept that same apartment for a minute. I slept on the floor when I first got here because we didn't have room. And everybody get to Houston. So got to Houston, man, slept on the floor, but we were chilling. We went to Semper's back in the day.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We all were like, let's get ourselves together. We were all kind of getting married at that time and moving our families here. And it was a good time. So working in the Houston Medical Center as an ER medic, have my paramedic license still. My mom still got that article on the newspaper. On the fridge.
As she should,
being a paramedic. So started working in the ERs, man. Long story short, that moved into cancer research. So I was a cancer research coordinator at Baylor. That was like the best job ever. Learning research, source data, analytics, all that kind of good thing. Merck, Pfizer, all them big boys. And I ended up getting laid off further into that career. I was flipping houses part-time because I've been in real estate since I was little.
Okay.
My dad's family in Opelousas has been in real estate, concrete, construction, development, et cetera. And that moved into my own real estate company because 0809 happened, right?
Yeah. That was a wild time for people too. Man, it was. Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was.
So it was a crazy time. That real estate background helped me out a lot. We had to pivot during that time, sold out of that particular situation, and that's where the consulting started coming in. Folks were like, hey, can you teach me how to do this? Can you help my company do this, do that? And I'm like, man, y'all pay that much for this, that? Operations, this, and the third. Bank Ready started coming out then.
Wait, I didn't know that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's interesting because I thought Bank Ready was like now, but you saying you've been, and this is a testament, you've been building on this for at least a decade now then.
A decade plus at least.
I would have never known that.
At least.
Okay.
At least. When I went to get my first loan in the banker was like, you're not ready. You need this, and third. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? And he said, well, this is what's going on. I'm like, well, who makes that decision? I thought you made a decision, Mr. Banker. He said, no, the underwriters made a decision. So you're not ready for this bank yet? Dang, I ain't bank ready. All right, whatever. And they kept clicking in my head. I said, okay, how do I get myself? Because I walked out of the bank embarrassed. Because I felt like I'd failed my family, my business. Like, I can't get this money. I need this money. And I stayed up for a couple nights in a row just getting my numbers. Really just my numbers weren't right.
Gotcha.
I wasn't articulating a message to the bank how I was going to debt service that money and where it was going to go. I knew the industry, but they didn't know.
The
underwriter can't make sense of it. And once I made sense of it, he said, oh, I didn't know this was what was going on. Tell me more. So I ended up getting more money, a better structured loan, because they saw where the industry was going, just because my paperwork was right.
Yeah, see, so that's why I said this is going to be in the weeds for a lot of people. And the reason why it will be is because a finance discussion, I think, deserves to be in the weeds. Now, let's take it all the way back. You mentioned a decade plus you've been working on this. I think all of us have felt the trepidation of hitting send on a credit application and not knowing what that response is going to be back. I can tell you now, I've had several times where they was like, no. The first time I tried to get an American Express card, they was like, nah, brother, you ain't. I thought I was doing good, making good money. I thought everything was right. That was like an eye-opening to me to get denied. Then going to banks and having to apply and sit down and talk to someone and getting denied. You're the man people should go to if they don't want to have that problem.
Oh gosh, yeah. I've figured out I'm in the matrix, if you will. At the end of the movie, see all the green coming down. Yeah. Here's the code. Here's how you figure it out. Because I've figured out, and they've told me, but I knew what to ask over time. And I'm like, okay, hold on. And I went to a couple bankers. What's y'all biggest problem? Where can the bank make more money? And one bank in particular said, nobody ever asked us that question. How can we make more money? I said, well, I'm around a lot of women in business, minority businesses. We need the money. So where's the money at? Like, where's the money really residing? Like, for real. Like, why? We see you have the money, but where is it and how can we put our hands on it? He said, okay, I'm going to show you. This is how this works. And every bank thereafter has shown me how the underwriting works. And it's really on you have to be able to show what your credit profile looks like. Not necessarily the score. They need to make sure that you're debt worthy, credit profile, FICO, all that. But your business plan data, if you want this money, what are you going to do with it? How many people are you hiring is the main thing they look at, because their economic drivers are tax-based. Yeah,
people don't get that piece of it, that your business plan, banks are encouraged, or small business associations is encouraged to give you the money when you're providing job opportunities. Oftentimes people go looking for money and they say, well, I'm a solo person business. They're not encouraged to just make one person have a influx of cash.
No.
They want that solo person business to grow into a business that could benefit others.
You have to. A lot of what we talk about is having your attorney and your CPA be your main starters, that CFO, that legal compliance. You're going to pay them some kind of bill.
You got to. Yeah.
They're going to be part of your payroll. And a lot of people may even be listening to this right now and they're like, well, Coach, I am a one-person band, but are you projected to be a one-person band for how long? Your projections, you have to see into the future of understanding my market and where am I going with this thing. You go to SBA.gov right now, the top 10 things to start a business. Actually, it's not even a business plan or even an LLC. You hear that a lot on social media. Get an LLC. The number one thing is market research. What is my market? And when we know that, it'll tell us a story of where the market's going. And you figure out how does your superpower navigate solving problems in that marketplace.
Interesting. So you say that this started from a denial. Okay.
A big denial.
I don't need to know the amount of money, but it had to be enough to make you be like, hold up. Why did I get denied for this amount?
I'll be honest, it was the amount.
Yeah, that's
because like, I need it. But it was what I knew was I was going to get off of that amount.
Okay.
Because I saw the contract at the end. Actually, I was already talking to the city. And they're like, this is the contract. Can you do X, Y, and Z? Yeah, I got that done. I built the team already. So how much payroll did I need to cover? Operating costs? How much did I need to debt service to get to that project and get that project off the ground? Because I had my purchase orders already lined up.
And see, most people don't even think about the debt service piece, that floating a business with your personal money for 6 months to a year is ridiculous.
Insane.
If you can do it with the bank's money, you save yourself so much heartache. I know a lot of people also go in and say, well, I'm just going to personal guarantee everything. What are your thoughts on personal guarantees?
I'm not going to knock it, but I will say you definitely want to start to develop tier 1, 2, and 3 business style credit. What is it that your business would do normally? How often do we go to the Office Depots and Lowe's if you're in construction? What vendors are you working with? We need to think about, I need to develop a vendor list of companies I'm going to work with over time and let them extend you a line of credit so that your personal credit can be, yes, you may ping it a few times on the personal side, and you have to. Because if you're 35 years old, and this has to be said, if you're 35 years old, your personal credit is 35 years old.
Facts.
If your LOC is only a year, then you're a baby still. You can't go run out and get 50 grand, 100 grand in business credit necessarily without a high interest rate, because I see that too much online too. You have to look at the APR and what they're charging you for that money. So start to develop a slowly but surely a good business credit profile that you may have to personal guarantee. But if you know the revenue that's coming behind it, you're not so default-ish in your thinking.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too bad.
So let's give people then maybe some steps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't want to give away the game, but let's give people some steps. 35-year-old is a great example. Most of people who are 35, that might be their time when they really jump into entrepreneurship, using their W-2 maybe to grow a business or scale a business that they've been working with. What's the first thing you would say as a business coach, business consultant, that people need to do to start getting their house in order?
Consult with at least 2 people in your industry. Don't go out this thing on your own. I wouldn't don't go to social media even. Find a good accountant and a good attorney who you can get advice from on how to get structured and how to maneuver in that space. We don't even look at budgeting as something that's sexy because it's not. But if your spending habits out the gate are wrong, you can't change that just because you got $50,000, $100,000. So get with your attorney and get with your CPA and say, this is what I'm looking at doing. How will that work with your accounting? How should I look at moving? And legally, where should I be? If I'm an LLC, should I be filing taxes as an S corp, or when? Or what revenue number do I need to hit before I take it from 1099 to LLC, single 2-member LLC, to an S corp situation? We got to start thinking that way in a business mindset. So when we go from a one-man project, we can look at projecting further out what that looks like.
So you say the team is the most important part in the beginning.
We play football, right?
Okay.
Off season. My mind's always off season. Who are you drafting?
That's an interesting analogy.
Got to. And that's how I got the name coach. I'm not a business coach either. That's another thing too. I had a former NFL player was a client of mine.
Wow.
And he was like, I was coaching 7-on-7 at the time. His son was on our team. And he's like, man, you need to just be coached 24/7 because you teach business like you teach football. I hate you most of the time.
Correct.
But you've gotten me so far. And it's like, you know what, I'm just letting him do what he got to do. And he said, I've had to humble myself like I have to done with my coaches in the pros, college and whatever. And I'm like, for real? He said, yeah, be coached. Because we call you that in the grocery store, whatever anyway. So just be that 24/7. And I just ran with it. And it stuck.
So you're thinking off-season, preseason prepares you for game.
Case in point, client of mine just flew down from California to the Houston Procurement Forum last month. The last one that he had. I've been working with him for about a year. His original business model, we split that into 2, and it's totally different from what he thought it would be. And I've been grooming him. And I said, you need to get a flight to Houston. Cali's cool, but what you're offering and what you're doing in that EV space and in the sanitizing space with your solution, you should be here. He got there, got to the forum, long story short, started talking to the vendors. And I was there coaching him along, what to say, how to say, whatever. And he had it. He left with a contract from HISD.
Man, that's incredible.
Man,
So the proof is in the pudding that if you put in the work, then your structure of what you do with people lands results. Is it more individual companies, or can you work with a large organization as well? Like what's the strategies? Are they all the same or are they different depending upon the size of the organization?
Strategies will be different depending on the size. I can work with an Apple just as much as I can work with a one-man show.
Gotcha.
Business is business is business. The business of real estate, the business of healthcare, the business of whatever, right? If I like to stay in veins where I know the industry, of course. If not, I can bring in a consultant of my own. But at the end of the day, I have a secret power, if you will, of understanding where the pain points are and how to fix them based on what they're obviously not doing. And every company has their own superpowers, and mine is fixing and helping you solve the problems internally to make sure you're more efficient and more profitable. 9 out of 10 companies who even hear that, like, okay, I don't have that, come help me with that. We're doing that in the diversity, equity, inclusion space corporately. But yeah, I can help any firm, quite frankly.
And then the process for you say starts with the team. Once you've got the team together, what do you really mean by bank ready?
Bank ready is making certain that the amount of money that you're going to need, we may always hear, let me get 50,000, 100,000, $500,000. I don't care about all that. 6-7 figure business, none of that really matters. When you're sitting across from an institution that can lend you money, what you're asking them for in writing, can your numbers, can your P&L, can your forecasting, your cash burn, your break-even projections, can all of that make sense to a banker to say, I need $62,500. I'm going to do A, B, C, D with it. I'm going to drive. I need this. I need interest-only loan for a year. I need this. I need this. I need that. You want to think about structuring your loan based on the revenue you're going to drive. I hardly ever hear anybody talking about that. That is bank ready in and of itself. You're ready to go into this institution, and the banks, if y'all hearing this, they're probably doing this on the other side of this camera. Like, yes, he's right. Because if a bank can see you as a lower risk tolerance, and you can debt service that money on paper, you've done the homework, you've done the research. They're like, yes, your credit profile says that, you can do that. Bank ready is bankable for the bank and bankable for the marketplace. It's not just the financial side of it.
So let's talk. That's a great way to think about it. And a term that I use a lot, and I'm glad someone else is using it, is debt service. I don't think people understand what the underwriter is really doing is, are you paying us back? I mean, some people think that it's, man, they judging me, they're asking me too many questions, especially when you're, like, most people only see this when you're talking about a big real estate transaction. Uh-huh. You know, when you do a big real estate transaction, it's not very difficult, or let me take that back. It's easier to go in for something that is going to be collateral like a house to get a loan than something that doesn't have any collateral behind it like a idea. So debt service in their mind for a house, they know, you know what, if all hell breaks loose, what am I going to do? I'm foreclosing on this property. Mm-hmm. What are you saying when you say debt service? Let's give it to the people as it relates to a small business owner.
Debt service means, let's just use the number $100,000.
Okay.
How's your sales set up? Your revenue that's coming in, your cash flow statement, how much cash is coming in, your profit and loss. Can that money coming through the door pay the monthly premium, quarterly premium, interest-only premium, whatever, however it's set up? Can that revenue cover that? Can that debt be serviced? Mean layman's terms, can you pay this money monthly? And do you have a plan to pay it and pay it off by a certain period of time? Netflix, for example, a company with way too much debt. When you look at Yahoo Finance, and y'all just find any company you like and plug it in and look at how much debt they have compared to how much revenue they're driving. Simple things like that, but that's how you service debt. You want to service, you want to scripturally be a steward of that money. How are you handling that money? It is helping you to drive more revenue, but how are you taking care of that which is helping you?
Now, you brought up a great example too with Netflix. What most people don't understand is that a lot of your companies, your favorite companies, they're not making any money. I mean, very true. A lot of your favorite companies, down to the Teslas, well, SpaceX, Tesla may have finally turned a profit. I'm not sure. But most of them are in the red.
Yeah.
And people think that, man, if I start a business and I can't turn a profit, sometimes I don't know if we understand really how the system of business actually works.
Gosh. Google, Investopedia, please, break even. A lot of us, and there's some studies that have come out, small businesses fail because of this, because of that. I've found over the last 8 years in particular, small businesses don't fail because of lack of funding. You fail because you didn't plan for the right funding. Small businesses don't fail because of lack of leadership or this, that, and the other. You didn't plan for the right leadership. And most small businesses have failed because you quit too soon.
Agreed.
If your break even is year 3 and you sweating it out in year and a half, you shouldn't have to sweat it out. You should know based on but a lot of us don't want to write a business plan. A lot of us don't even want to go into a business development model to know when we should be at break even and then profiting after that. That's where business really makes it solid. If you know where your break even is, your effective tax rate, your cash burn, how much cash is coming in and out of your account every month. If you at least know what those are, your accountant can lean on them to help support you there. Your legal team is making sure that you're doing what you got to do. And then your operations folks, you may be the Steve Wozniak or the Tim Cook or whomever. You need to know what your power is, and your team is helping you do everything else. You go out and do what you got to do.
But if you think about it, most of us, when we start a business in our community, we ready to jump on social media, come support, X, Y, Z.
Support.
And then when people don't, because no one will support it in the beginning. Like they want to see you make it. That's what's weird. So you're running on fumes a lot. You're running on, man, I didn't make $1 this month, or I left my job. What should I do now?
Wow.
So what recommendation do you give people who are on the cusp of quitting? Because I would imagine a program and strategies like yours can take people from the brink.
Oh gosh, yeah, we do it all the time. Quitting their job or quitting their
business.
One, don't quit your job.
Yes,
please don't quit your job. And a lot of people are wanting to quit their job and jump off. You got to be in bank rated to find this out. But I have an equation that shows you when you can leave your job.
Wow. So you've got a calculation for people similar to my line of work when you can retire.
Yes.
Okay.
Very similar equation. Yes.
Okay.
I would tell people, one, family is family. Let auntie, let Pookie and them be who they are.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to support your business. Are they your target market? 9 out of 10, no. You should be focusing your energies on, again, we said this earlier, the market pays you for efficiency and solving problems. Let auntie and them bake cornbread and have Thanksgiving and all that. That's family. Let family nurture your soul. Let your target market pay you for the services you're providing. And if you know where your break even is, if you're planning and strategizing and studying your market and even doing a SWOT analysis on companies that are like yours, then you could see, don't reinvent the wheel. Don't try to be special. Just do you in a marketplace that needs your zhuzh to it, if you will. Shout out to my wife. She likes to use that word zhuzh, and I get what it means. Right? But it's like, that's what, like, don't quit. No, quitting, that's the only, you fail forward. And man, I don't like all that. You don't fail forward. You failing is quitting. Don't quit. God put that vision on you. And if you really want to go deep into this thing, all the prophets that wrote scripture, it was what he put in their heart. So if I'm going to look at my business plan, that's the scripture for your business and the people you're helping. So you really going to tell the Most High, I'm not going to take that and write that scripture down and see that thing through? We talk about Habakkuk, write it down, make it plain. But before that, he said, write down what you see. In the Greek and then even in the Hebrew, what you saw and hear, not just what you saw with your eyes. So yeah, not quitting, man. It's bigger than you. Your business is not just about you. It's about who you're serving. Definitely
not. So the brother is giving y'all a word. So for people who may be interested in getting in touch with you and all of that, of course, we'll have some links and things like that we can share. But let's share your social medias and all that before I jump into everyone who's watched the Academy. I asked the same question to everybody, and we've had 10 different answers. But first, information, where they can find you, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, well, you can find me on all platforms, Coach John Austin. John is spelled Jean. So Coach John Austin on Instagram. On Twitter is Austin Business Coaching. Facebook and YouTube is Coach John Austin. My website, main site to find us, I like to take people off platform, is thecoachaustin.com. THE coachaustin.com. You guys can find me there. We've revamped the website, so we've got free grants out there. We got a news ticker and everything. I'm trying to be the small business CNN, if you will.
Nah, we want that. Now we ain't even gonna say trying. He is the small business CNN. That's what we gotta say. So let's jump into this final question. I ask everyone the same thing. If someone had $10,000 liquid, no obligation, nothing that they need to take care of, all other responsibilities are taken care of. This is a person who wants to be an entrepreneur. What would you recommend for that individual? $10,000 liquid.
Go out and buy an existing cash flowing business, something we never really look into. You don't have to start a business from scratch. Just like you buy real estate, owner finance, you can buy a lawn care service, an electrical company. You can buy so many different businesses, and that 10,000 can be money in the bank. You can leverage to get a line of credit against that. Now you got 20, but that cash flowing business, that owner can stay on, and you can do seller financing with that as well. That you can buy equity and buy cash flow like that.
That we get a different answer every time. Like that right there is unique. So, for example, people don't understand how much money plumbers make. Okay?
Yeah.
So I did a study a while back. We won't get into the details, but plumbers make more money than most surgeons.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. So you saying maybe go out and find small business, something similar to that, where it's already cash flowing. Go in, get some equity, maybe with your 10,000 at the bank, to make a compelling offer to the owner.
Definitely. You have the infrastructure bill, which is hot now. So all of the trades, drywall, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, these guys are retiring. They're like, I'm good, I'm done. The recession's here for sure. They've made their money. Oftentimes they'll stay on as a consultant with the business and show you how to run it to keep that clientele. These businesses have been open 20 years sometimes. So why start off with that personal guaranteed business credit from the gate? Go out and buy 20 years of business credit that has a great reputation. We don't have to start from the bottom at all. I know it's glorified on lyrics and whatever. Nah, started from the bottom is here, but walk into buy cash flow. If every person at the sound of this podcast thought about buying cash flow businesses and can operate them day one with a mentor built in, that makes your attorney's job better, your job easier, and you've got clients. Cash flow is already coming in. Take that and partner with the government contract situation that's out there. You've already got the plan. You've got the capability already existing. Vaughn Construction would hire you on because your capacity has already been built.
Exactly. You're already seasoned. So everything is in your favor.
Oh, my gosh, yes. And now you're a CEO operating a multi-year company that's been proven.
Yeah.
You put a minority certification on top of that and a government contract in front of you. That is generational.
Yeah, now you're giving too much of the game away. I want people to still come find you. So
I got more.
So Coach Austin, we appreciate it. I know we had a little time today. I can guarantee you'll see us again at some point doing some things together. It's good that he was able to pull up on us. Go find them. Give them your social one more time. Make sure they know where to get you.
Yeah, man. TheCoachAustin.com website. Check it out. Okay. Coach John Austin on Instagram. Text Bank Ready to the number in that bio. We'll start to work with you. We vet everyone that we work with. Best place to find me. We will get back with you. We're loving this recession. Let's make it happen.
That's what's up. That's episode 11 of the Academy. We out. Appreciate it, brother.
All right, brother.
Man, thank you. That was good. That was solid.
Thank you, man.
Like I said, I like having finance conversations. That was good. Mo, is that you? I knew you would get here before we got finished. I said, didn't I say you'd be here before 6? Mo ain't supposed to get here until 7:30.
Hey, listen, cordial and prompt.
She want to work.
It's hard to find nowadays.
You can turn on that light, though. You can turn on. And I'm going to get you set up.
It's hard to find nowadays, man.
No, I got you. Let me help you. I ain't got